Thank you. Okay, resume recording. Yeah, welcome everybody to our second to the last LDU. Can you believe it? We're almost over. You guys have this week and then next week, and that's it. We have almost gone through the whole book. We have talked about all the things and hopefully applied and learned a bunch of new things, and hopefully your business is better for it and you are better for it. So anyone have anything to share from this last week? Anything that you just want to share? Any good things that happened in your business this last little bit?
Well, I have a potential recruit.
Good. Was it the one that you were telling me about?
Yes. Yep.
Good.
Well, that's still talking.
Good. Well, it's good to have somebody that's excited, somebody that's a potential. Does she have things that she's has she said yes or no, or is she still just thinking about it? Has she not responded back? Are there challenges that you can help her figure out, or where's she at?
She hasn't responded back to my last message about doing like the try and see with hosting a party and then flipping it. I haven't heard back from her since then. So
what kind of products does she usually love and comment on? Is there anything new coming out soon that she would just love to share?
She is a big Disney fan, so she is loving all the Disney stuff. Yeah, she said for Mother's Day, she wants to get a whole heap of the Disney stuff. So hopefully she'll join up before then, and then she can get paid on her own purchases. And
exactly get paid on them and get host rewards, as well as usually like attracts like, and so her friends are generally probably similar to her and wanting all the same stuff too, so she could help get them. Good. Well, that is exciting, Michelle. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Hopefully we get to meet her soon. That's awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else?
5 different parties. So I haven't worked on anything this last week because I've just been like party, host coach. So
that's great. And what kind of parties are these? Are these the QR code parties? Are these live parties? Are these or basket?
Three of them are the QR parties. I have one. She's a frequent customer, so she has a shopping link open, but she does have some of the QR code catalogs, as well as a bag of the testers that she can just go around and share with everybody. And then another party is a Facebook party, and it's getting ready to gear up this week. So
awesome.
Getting all the graphics and stuff together for that right now.
Look at you go. That's so great. I love seeing that you have actual parties booked. We talked about this last time, and just how key that is to your business, because you can book parties off of your parties and it just keeps it going, as well as you get to expand your horizons from just your little circle, and then you have potentials for joining your team and hosting, as well as you can keep all those new customers. And so awesome. That's great.
I'm challenging myself this time with my Facebook party, because I don't normally go live in them. And so this time I'm like, I'm going to go live at least once a day just so that I'm in front of people and I'm popping up in their feed and they're like, oh, well, what is this about? So that is the goal, is to go live once a day while that party's going. So
I love it. It makes a huge difference, as Erin can attest to. But when they connect to you instead of even just pictures or static images or whatever, then they will not only buy from you, so your party will be better, but they are a lot more likely to stay with you as a consultant instead of just, oh, I just bought from a party. You know, they're like, no, I remember Naomi. I bought from her party. You know, then it'll be easier for you after. So yay, that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys are just doing all the good things, a new recruit and 5 parties this month. And so that's great. You know, that's one of my favorite things she talks about in her chapter, in chapter 9, because it's our second to the last chapter. She talks about preparing yourself to lead, and one of her 10 E's that she did, Dave loved it because he loves things that are like acronyms or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of E's. But she talks about how you need to lead from the front, lead by example. It's number 9, to where, you know, whatever you do, your team will do, and it'll trickle down. Even if they're not copying exactly how you're doing it, they'll see that you're doing parties. They'll see that you're putting yourself out there. They'll see that you're even trying something new. So, and setting goals for yourself, no matter what those are. So way to go, guys. That's super awesome. This was a great chapter. My favorite part was right from the gate, where she says the beauty of our profession, and her favorite thing about what her business has done. She didn't say that I live in this gorgeous mansion, because she does. I've seen it online. She lives in a huge house that's right on a lake and it's gorgeous. She didn't say that. She didn't say I get to stay home with my baby and raise him, which again, she gets to do that. She didn't say my husband's home working for me, with me, and we get to lead the life that we want to, which that's true as well. But what she said is personal and professional growth is one of the greatest gifts this profession has given to me. And I love it, because you can go to a job and get professional growth. You can get more training. They'll send you to, you know, different training opportunities or classes or recertifications or whatever. But the combination of what it takes to run this business on a personal level is just, it's exhausting sometimes, because we just have to be always learning and growing. But I love it because it's such a great catalyst to do that. So the personal and professional growth really is kind of a gift to us, in addition to the money, the income, the freedom, the travel, whatever. That's something that I didn't know was going to be one of my most cherished gifts of this business. But I love it. I love that the more I improve myself, the more it makes my business run, but it enables me to help more people as well, and enables me to be more effective as a leader. And as well as the more that I work on my business, that means that many more people that I get to be in contact with that I can then help. And anyway, I love it. I think it's so great. So her 10 E's, she talks about having a good attitude. And the thing that I liked about that is she talks about, so there are always things that go wrong in a business. There are always times when you're going to want to quit. There are always things that are going to be frustrating for you, just like everyone else. But it's very important for you to not complain to your downline, and for you all to create an environment of positivity. Some people say that it's toxic positivity if you don't let people vent, and if you don't let people talk about how frustrated they are. So yes, listen to them, but realize they always say that push positivity down and negativity up. So if you have an issue that you're just frustrated, like I said, it happens to everyone, but you're not going to go to your downline with that and be like, oh my gosh, can you believe what just happened? Or can you believe what consultant support just told me? Or, oh, I can't believe Sensi just sold out of that in 5 minutes. Yes, those are all real things. Those are all frustrating, but go up to your upline with that, because then it can just be a vent, or it can be a brainstorm session where you guys can figure out a way around it. But your downline doesn't need to hear that. It's kind of like if I'm always complaining about my husband, what am I going to see? I'm going to see all the things about him that are annoying. Does he have annoying things? Yes. Do I have annoying things? Every single person in the world does. So if I start complaining and sharing that, and every time I get together with my girlfriends, or every time I talk to my mom on the phone, I'm telling them, oh, you've got to hear what just happened. Can you believe he just did that? Can you believe he said that to me? Whatever it is, that's what I'm going to see. And that's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Are they true? Yes. Are they something I could maybe even deal with? Yes. And maybe even tell a trusted friend? Of course. We don't have to pretend like it's not there. However, we make them into bigger things, and we really erode that trust in our company, just like we would erode that trust in our husband. If he heard me telling other people about his weaknesses, that's not going to make him feel good or make our relationship any stronger. It's the same thing with your business. If you're telling people about how frustrated you are with something, how could Sensi do this? It's going to erode that relationship you have with Sensi, as well as others seeing your relationship with Sensi. And then how can they trust you as a leader or as even a consultant to buy from you or whatever? So just like I said, I really like how she was like, when you're down, go up, talk to your upline if you have issues, because there's always a way to, if nothing else, get it off your chest. And maybe there's a way around it. You could detour around the thing that is causing you pain. So she's always be willing to learn, grow, and accept feedback. So I like that as well. Sometimes feedback is scary because that usually is some way that you can improve, which means that you're doing something wrong. But of course we all are. So it's important to be coachable. And that's one of the things that she talked about, being confident and humble. And she's like, those are not mutually exclusive. You don't have to be all like meek and submissive. You can still be confident as well as be humble and be teachable, I guess, just meaning that you don't know it all. And we're always learning, and we're always, open to being improved upon. So she also talks about not comparing, which I think is super important. The longer you stay in Sensi, the more we're in a community of sharers, which is great. We share the things that Sensi's done for us. We share the things that we're doing in our business. We share how great we are at booking parties. We share how great we are at all the things, which is good because success breeds success. And that contagious enthusiasm is so important. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we take it with a measure and don't be like, oh, she's doing so great, I haven't done any of those things. Don't use it as an excuse. Use it as something to catalyst and be like, oh, she's doing things. I'm going to go talk to her and ask her how she's booking 5 parties because I can't get one. What are you saying? What are you doing? How are you approaching them? Look at it as a proactive way to say, I'm so happy for her. And you know what? I'm going to go pick her brain instead of like, oh, she's got parties, I don't have any. You know what I mean? Like that comparison game is so dangerous, and it's so common because we, especially as women, and I know that we have men on our team as well, but generally speaking, it's a woman's trait to compare yourself and to never measure up. And it's not true. You have amazing, beautiful gifts that are within you that I don't have, that Rihanna doesn't have, that Naomi doesn't have, that Michelle doesn't have, that Erin doesn't have. Like, we are unique individual beings, and that's the beauty of it. So while we share and we're a part of a team and we share what we're doing, it's merely just to kind of put it out like a big charcuterie board, but you don't have to eat the whole thing. You just take, okay, I'm going to try this, and oh, look, this is really pretty. I'll give this a try. And you know what? I don't like olives. I'm not going to even try that. That's exactly what you can do with your Sensi business. Pick and choose. We throw it all out there. And if you love to spoil your customers because that's part of you. If you are like me and have a really hard time getting things out the door, find a different way to spoil them. Just do it that is you and that is uniquely you, and you will feel better. And you know what? You'll have a lot more success because you'll stick with it and it'll feel really authentic to you. So yeah, I really like that reminder that we each are unique intentionally. That's the purpose of it. And so the more that we can find that special calling within us, maybe your calling or your special thing is that you love to lead and inspire and motivate. Get out there and do all the trainings. Find a way to be in front of your people. Or maybe you love to be crafty. And so you can have craft nights and share, your love of crafting with your customers or with your team or whatever it is. So look at what you are. I read a book once, and it's called Find Your Strengths. And it's talking about how a lot of people do New Year's resolutions, and they make all these lists of all the things that they need to improve. I need to get better at this. This year, I'm going to try to do this. This year, I'm going to go to the gym every day. This year, I'm going to whatever it is. And we make all these lists for how we need to improve, because that's human nature. We want to be better. We yearn to be better than we are, and to be always improving. And that's good. That comes from the beautiful nature within us. But this book said, you know what, instead of looking at all the things that we need to improve, all the things that we're not, build upon your strengths. If you're going to make a New Year's resolution, make a resolution to say, I'm really good at this. I'm going to grow that. I'm going to get even better at that. I'm going to spend time where I'm happy. I'm going to spend time where I'm strong. I'm going to make this blossom and grow so that it's huge. Instead of just trying to start a whole bunch of little teeny plants, I'm going to focus on this tree that I already have growing and that I love it, so it can get even bigger and shade the whole yard. You know what I mean? So that's what I love. Focus on your calling, focus on that special thing that just kind of fills you up. It will make it so that you don't get tired, and it will make it so that you can share that gift with the world when you are really looking to find that. So number 2, exude energy and excitement. You don't have to be fake. And if you're not a bubbly type personality, that's okay. But there has to be some kind of passion. There has to be some kind of, you show up, you do the things, you participate. She says, we as leaders, we are responsible for creating that vision for our team members, sideways as well as our downline. Like everybody that we come in contact with, we can leave better for having talked to us, because they feel better about themselves, they feel better about their business, they have new ideas. There's just that energy. It's amazing, but energy is so contagious, and it's like little sparks. And if I have a little spark and you have a little spark, together those sparks are even brighter. So leave your little spark on things. Sometimes it takes energy to be, it takes effort to have energy. So don't forget what kind of message you're sending out. And sometimes it's just that effort to have the positive attitude energy that I was talking about. But it's very important, and like I said, it's very contagious. Number 3, encourage. So this is the recognition part and this is one of our challenges for the week. Figure out how you want to recognize. So there's the love languages, right? Have you all heard of that Gary Chapman book, The 5 Love Languages? There are also enneagrams that fit your personality and things like that. And different people need different things. Sometimes their recognition is allowing them to be a leader. Sometimes their recognition is a gift. Sometimes their recognition is you calling them up on the phone or doing a FaceTime and just spending time with them. Or, if you're local, you could even just drive over. I have a superstar director friend up in Canada, and every time she promotes a superstar director, she doesn't give a big, huge, lavish gift. She doesn't mail anything. She puts herself on a plane and she goes and spends the day, and they go and just hang out and go get their nails done or whatever they want to do. It's the time that she's giving them together. So whatever it is. So the 5 love languages are, and you guys, this is impromptu, so you might have to help me. So there's time, which is, again, doing that, spending time with somebody. There's words of affirmation. That would include something like a note, a handwritten note, or a postcard, or even a shout out specifically for what they've done. It's words recognizing why they're great. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they've done something monumental. It might mean that they've taken an action, even if they didn't get the result. Like, let's say, Michelle, you're trying to recruit somebody. We can recognize you and reward you and celebrate you long before you ever get that end result, by recognizing the efforts that you're doing. Oh, you had a party and you talked to that host. Oh, you gave out 10 possibility packets. Oh, you all of those action things. As a leader, it's important to recognize results, but it's also important to recognize the actions that can lead to results and that get them there. So there's time, there's words of affirmation, there's gifts. So that's, obviously that's self-explanatory. You could give them a gift. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to break the bank. And she talks about this as well. When you are doing any kind of recognition, you have to ask yourself the question, is it duplicable? Meaning, is it only something that I can do because I have millions of dollars or 50 hours a day or, whatever? Or is it something that my team could then duplicate as well as they become leaders? Or is it scalable? Is it something that I could do if I have 5 on my team? What about if I had 500 on my team? Could I even do that? So those are good things to kind of keep in mind. What you set in precedence at the beginning, think, okay, could I do this if I had a team of 5,000? So those are the things that you think about. You could give words of affirmation, gifts, time, touch.
Acts of service and physical
Acts of
touch.
service. Okay, so touch, that one's a little harder, especially in our COVID day. But if there's somebody that really needs touch, those are big hugs when you see them. That's not just here's your card. So if I'm somebody that needs, let's pretend like I'm somebody that needs physical touch, and you come and you have this beautiful handwritten sentiment, you give me this beautiful handwritten card, and you're thinking, oh, this is just going to fill her love bucket. She's going to feel so recognized. And yet you give it to me and you're like, here you go. And you kind of stand back like this. Am I going to feel loved? No, if I need you to hug me and if I need you to say, oh, I'm so glad to see you and give me big hugs or whatever it is, just be cognizant that generally speaking, there are so many different ways to show love. And if you're doing only one way, that's great and you'll get some of the people. But if you're really going to want to try to truly reach all of your team, you're going to kind of have to get creative and even take a little step back and take a check-in sometimes. Am I doing all 5 of these? And acts of service. That might be a little harder to do, but you could even like give them a gift certificate for a coffee on me, that's your service, or send them, a pizza and say, hey, look, I just made dinner for you tonight so you can enjoy whatever, you know what I mean? Like that one's a little harder for people. Or it could be my cute friend, Carol Bishop Hauk. I gave her a ride to the airport, super last minute. She called me and she needed me to leave in 20 minutes to take her. And I love her. So of course I was like, yes, I'll drop everything and take you. So what she gave me was a cute little gift and it had all these fun things in it. But what it was an act of service because she has like all kinds of, oh, these are all sticking together now. Darn, because it's a sticker. She has all kinds of stickers. I mentioned to her once that I need to duplicate things. Like I kind of one-off things, which is nice because they're all special and it's all unique, but I don't do things in mass so that I can just do it. So she sent me all of these like stickers. So now I have a whole bunch of stickers to send. And that was an act of service because she made them for me because she knows I'm not good at that kind of stuff. She made them for me and she made these cute little mix it up cards that I can put in with my mailers to my customers to, just mixology ideas. Basically, her service was also this gift, but her service was her time to make it for me. And she was making it for her own team. So it wasn't just for me, but that's okay. It still was something that was an act of service to me because now I don't have to do it for myself. And so anyway, as you're leading your team, think of, are there ways that I could do an act of service for my team if that is there? You can even ask them. So once upon a time, when people joined my team, I don't do it anymore just because I just don't. I had them fill out a Google Doc and I would say, oh, Erin, I know you do this still. And say, what's your preferred method of communication? What's your preferred method of recognition? Or even just have them check, if you were to do something awesome, how would you prefer that I recognize you? And then you could be like, send you a gift certificate, take you out to dinner, and so it might not say acts of service, quality time, but you could kind of give examples that you could see, okay, what do they need? Or if you have somebody in your downline that you've been doing special things for them, trying to recognize, and it just doesn't really feel like it's kind of falling flat, don't be afraid to shake it up, and try different things. So as a leader, I love being able to recognize. They say what gets recognized gets repeated. So if you want to recognize somebody who is adding to your team culture, recognize that in your team. If you want to recognize somebody who is getting good sales or who is recruiting and building their team or who is, just super helpful to other consultants, whatever it is, what you recognize and focus, your team will grow in that area. It could be, like I said, anyway, lots of different stuff. Then engage your team. So empower your team and allow them to lead, show them how they can kind of grow into that leadership. I think a lot of times as a leader, we think, well, I need to keep my place at the top. I need to make sure that they need me because I'm going to be the one, that's how I'm going to get my power, if you will. The best leaders are the ones who empower their downline to where you don't even know who's the upline and the downline because they're all working in sync together and all helping each other together. And it makes everybody's business together. It's always better together. And it'll make your job easier because then you're helping to train them so that when they are a leader, it's not just all of a sudden, oh, dang, what do I do now? Because you've done all of this all the time. So we're modeling it, but we're also giving them opportunities as well as praise. We're giving them opportunities to lead. Number 6, equip your team. Oh, number 5 is educate your team. Figure out some kind of training system. Sensi does a good job of this. She says, don't leave it to corporate, but to me, I'm kind of like, well, at the same time, they can find training anywhere. Like Rihanna, she listened to that training from Danny and she was just on fire because she was giving her training and advice that was different than coming from me. And that's beautiful. So anyway, just make sure you have some kind of training, especially at the beginning, to help get them off on the right start and to help them have that sense of belonging. then they will do a lot better. Develop your leaders. Number 6, equip your team. So developing leaders. Again, you're not looking to have a whole bunch of sheep following you. You are wanting to create leaders, develop leaders. That's the only way you'll promote, as well as it will really make it a lot better of a team as well. Number 7, encouragement. So Sensi spirit. Again, it's all about, being all in, loving our company, loving our products, loving your team, whatever it is. And we're better together. So I'm glad that we all kind of have this feeling of, I can train your people, you can give me advice. It's better together. And then we're almost done. Number 8, ethical leaders go the distance. So again, always keep things above board. Don't do things that are out of compliance. Don't do things that are unethical. I mean, you all are good people, so I really don't worry about you at all. Jareen Batali gave a really good director call this week about, and it was going over Orville's keynote. It was one of my favorite ones. I can't remember which one they said, 2000. I can't remember what year it was, but he was talking about the campfire and how we're better together, and that if you bring your log and I bring my log to the fire, it actually creates a bigger fire because we're both sharing together. And it's that abundance instead of scarcity mentality. Like if I have a pie and if I cut it into 6 pieces, then I'm going to get a smaller piece than if I only cut it into 2 than I could get, because there's only one pie. But Orville's saying, you know what, we can change our mentality to where there are enough pies for everybody. There's not just one pie we're dividing up. So be ethical, don't steal customers, but also realize that we don't own them, nor can we keep them to ourselves, So don't gossip, don't talk bad about other consultants or whatever. Then lead by example. Always lead out front. If there's an incentive, go for it. If there's a training, attend it. If there is just all the things, we should always be increasing our PRV and running our business and always recruiting as well. So funny story I'm going to tell on you, Rihanna. When she joined, she thought that it was only the newbies that were running their business, and that once you got past director, star director, especially superstar director, we're just fat cats up here. There's no way we're still running our business. We're just making all the money off of everybody else, and we're just kind of keeping that wheel going, which honestly is, I make a lot more money for my time than I did when I was a lead consultant. Obviously, that's the promise. That's the beauty of it. But at the same time, Sensi's compensation plan has built into it that we have to keep going and growing, as well as the health of my business will definitely be a lot stronger if I continue. So like if Rihanna is like, okay, I made it, I'm a director, and then she just kind of sits back in her seat and is like, okay, team, let's keep doing this, her team is going to dwindle. That's just how it is. So she says, always keep setting the pace with your sales, with your recruiting, your sponsoring, all of the things. Because new blood brings new business. And even if it's kind of like an old tree, you have to prune the tree and it has to grow new shoots to get the fruit on it. Otherwise, you'll just have a nice, big, huge tree, but you won't have the fruit that you want to eat. That's yummy. And one point that she puts in here that it took me years to really do, because I want everybody to do well, and I see the potential in everybody. So I waste a lot of time with those who say they want it, but aren't doing the things that show that they want it. So work with the willing. They say it's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your business will be done by 20% of your consultants. So if you're looking at your team and you're like, okay, I have a team of 10 and there's only like 2 or 3 that are selling or really doing much, that's okay. It's not a reflection of your bad leadership. It's kind of a numbers game, because again, it's their choice if they do it or not. And it's also just kind of facts of life, how it'll be. They might have started with great intentions, but life gets in the way. So don't try to rejuvenate the old. If they don't want it, they don't want it. And you're going to waste a lot of your time as well as a lot of your energy trying to drag them along. Find new people. That's what Orville told me once. He's like, it's a lot easier to find new blood than to resurrect the dead. So in order to keep our businesses growing, we have to keep that new blood flowing. So work with the 20. Don't try to work with 100% of your team, unless 100% of your team, and maybe you struck gold and they're amazing. But work with the workers. Work with those who deserve your time. She says, work with the willing and love the rest of them. So that doesn't mean that we shun them or that we hate them. They're a valuable part of our team to even just do PRV every once in a while. But if they're not wanting a business, then we're going to be pushing them into something that they don't want anyway. So we're going to be disappointed. They're going to be disappointed. And then the last thing is just endure. Focus on one business, pick one company. And Orville always says you can't ride two horses with one butt or something like that. So Orvilleisms are hilarious. So she says, discipline your disappointments, don't deviate from your mission, and be driven by your dream, and don't quit. So I think a lot of the thing is to remember that it's our dream that we're working for. We're not just working for a paycheck. There's a lot of different ways to make a paycheck. And there's probably even easier, quicker ways to make more money at the beginning, when you're just at the beginning of the compensation plan. Not at this point, there's no way you can support a family unless you have the compounding part of the teams and stuff like that. But what you're doing is you're building a dream. You are paying towards your future. So don't get lost in today and in the day-to-day of how hard it is, or how much you're pushing, or how many times you have to not catch your favorite TV show live because you're working, or because you have these goals that you want to. There are ebbs and flows in our business, and sometimes it's go time, sometimes it's rest time, where something else takes priority. But if you have that dream, it will pull you forward. You won't have to be pulled forward by your upline. You won't be dragging your downline. If you can help them tap into that dream, and if you can keep that dream in front of you, then you'll find it. That's what I love about this action plan worksheet. And I even printed off a new one for me today, because this one I like to fill it out at least once a quarter, at least once every 6 months, just because my goals change, or my tactics change for what I'm going to try. So I evaluate and I'm like, okay, is that still my big goal? Yes. Okay. Is that still my focus statement? Yes. Okay. Action plan. I tried these things and they haven't worked for 6 months. So let's shake it up. So that's what I love about this, is it helps me keep focused on that belief statement, that big dream. Why am I doing this? What am I working for? And then how am I going to get there? And then it's literally just connecting the dots and doing, which is sometimes the hard part, doing what will get you there and what will get you results. And if it's not working, change it up, try something new. That's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. So that's what I love about this action plan, is you literally can try and track your tactics. What am I doing to get new recruits? What am I doing to build a next director, if that's what you need for your next goal or whatever? So anyway, oh man, there's always so much to fit in. And I wanted to ask you guys all the things and hear what you guys say, but I've also promised to keep it at just 30 minutes. So here we are at the top of the half of the hour. Oh, and I want to show you, maybe I'll save this for next week. Do you see what this is? Have you ever seen this warmer before? This is a special warmer that they gave us years ago at SFR called the Frog in the Well warmer. And I dug it out for you guys today. Frog in a Well. They made 1,000 of them or something. I don't remember how many they made. And then he broke the mold on stage and he was like, we'll never do this again. But there's a really cool parable about the frog in the well, and I'll read it to you guys next week because I ran out of time, but it's really cool, and it has to do with leadership and the vision and basically the power we have as leaders to be able to help inspire others and help get them out of the well so that they can see the beautiful world outside. So anyway, you guys are awesome. Here's to a great week. Thanks for all of your energy and enthusiasm and working so hard, because that's what makes these training programs really work, is when you guys are working together. And like I said, success begats success. And so you guys are the ones that are doing it. So thanks for all that you add to our team. You guys are awesome. And here's to another great week. One more week left. Bye-bye, guys.